Which movie will always be a classic? The Back to the Future trilogy, Monty Python and the Holy Grail? Are you suggesting coconuts migrate? I Am Your King. Didn't know we had a king. The Princess Bride. This feels like the definition of a classic. Perfectly fills its own niche in the timeline of movies. It's not some masterpiece where people debate if it's the greatest movie of all time, or some gut-wrenching film you don't want to rewatch because it kicks the feelings so hard. It's a movie I can't wait to get to share with my kids. The Lion King, original version. Jurassic Park. The Wizard of Oz. The ultimate chick flick. Two women fighting to the death over a pair of shoes. Casablanca. It's the original quotable movie. Forrest Gump. Goodfellas. Nobody Goes to Jail. Karen. Shawshank Redemption. Beetlejuice. Everything is on point. The set design, the costumes, the score, the cast, and what a clever little story. It's got such a unique twist on the afterlife and you only get a hint of it. It stands as one of those late 80s comedies which would have been milked dry for sequels if not for the movie-making climate at the time. I can easily rewatch it every Halloween season and always enjoy it. Pulp Fiction, of course. The Matrix. Spaceballs. Airplane. Star Wars trilogy will always be a classic. All three. The OT. The classic story. The PT. The classic memes. The Saint. The classic unnecessary sequels. The Shining. Shrek. Somebody once told me. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Fifth Element. I coincidentally rewatched this 2 nights ago. I absolutely consider it a classic as well, but the film does get a tad uneven in pacing during the middle and the ending is a little tacked on. Luc Besson built such a fascinating world though. Some of my favorite scenes of the movie aren't even the action or visual stuff. Just Bruce hanging out at his apartment or whatever. Old Chinese man in a floating car coming to serve him lunch, etc. An extended TV show might do the world justice. But even then, I think I'd rather just see full-out pre-sequels with no cost spared from Luke. Won't happen though. Silence of the Lambs, Shawshank Redemption, and The Green Mile. The Sound of Music, Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Good Will Hunting. My Cousin Vinny. This is a movie I will watch anytime it comes on. Marissa Tomei is so great, especially when she takes the stand. But I love every second she's on screen. Yes, her wardrobe is an extension of her character too. So now I ask ya, would you give a fuck what kind of pants the son of a bitch who shot you was wearing? One of many great quotes. Fight Club. Blazing Saddles. Toy Story. Hands down. Jurassic Park. It's the perfect encapsulation of what makes a blockbuster. It's accessible but tense, full of great actors, lots of timeless practical effects, and an infinitely memorable score. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, The Godfather 1 and 2, A Christmas Story. I feel like Star Wars was the pinnacle of movie cult achievement for my parents. And for me, I'll be showing my kids Lord of the Rings. Jaws. The original heartwarming, wholesome Christmas movie. Die Hard. The Goonies. The Emperor's New Groove. It is strangely fitting that David Spade's best performance is a talking llama. Not even trying to be derogatory. He was amazing here, and it turns out that John Goodman's straight man was a perfect complement to Spade's sarcasm. Top Gun. Office Space. Only a movie I can continually rewatch and it's just as funny as the first time I've seen it. The Sandlot. Groundhog Day. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Nothing can come close to its charm. Lord of the Rings. All three of them have parts that still give me chills when I watch them and will probably never fade. Dumb and Dumber. Studio Ghibli. Spirited Away. Elf. Surprised no one mentioned The Green Mile. The Big Lebowski. How has this not been said yet, man? That rug really tied the whole room together, did it not? Donnie, please. The Back to the Future movies. The Great Outdoors. The Shining. Stand By Me. I have an issue with picking my favorite classic movie. The Iron Giant. How has no one mentioned The Iron Giant? Such a good movie. The Big Lebowski. Little Shop of Horrors. Best plant singer ever. Stand By Me! Exclamation mark. My favorite of all time. There Will Be Blood. Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Dano are both phenomenal in their roles. Note for anyone who hasn't seen it. The first 15 minutes are very slow. But as it's a 2.5-hour movie, it's not a big deal. You must get past the first 15 minutes in order to enjoy the movie. I keep meaning to see it but never have it available that I know of. My Girl. He Can't See Without His Glasses. Harry Potter. Jurassic Park. I was introduced to it as a kid, and I'll introduce my kids to it eventually. When I have some. Alien. I just rewatched it recently. Everything is so ahead of its time. Especially the character of Ripley. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Color Purple. The Ten Commandments. I watch it every Easter. American Pie. The Breakfast Club. Especially with Don't You Forget About Me at the end. That song is legendary. Alien. 7. Blazing Saddles. It Could Never Be Made Again. Ben-Hur. Charlton Heston and a cast of thousands. The Chariot Race was incredible. Shawshank Redemption. The Never-Ending Story. That is all. I came here to say this carrot. That is all. Emo. They need a remake. Imagine how awesome it will be. I would say Fear and Loathing. I don't think it will ever feel dated. A Hard Day's Night. Jailhouse Rock had come out a few years before and had been a smash. But I don't think it had the lasting impact that AHDN has had on pop culture and film. Monsieur. I don't think it's as much of a classic, but I've always had a soft spot for Help. It's so bizarre. Coming to America. Step Brothers. It's the F***C King Catalina wine mixer. It's time to put down the bong and grow up. I know that it's a comedy, but that movie is so juvenile. You sound like someone who takes things too seriously. Better take it easy or I'll put my nutsack all over your drum set. Happy Gilmore. Rocky. That was a long scroll to find what I thought would be at the top of the list. 12 Angry Men. Still holds up so well over 60 years later. Sister Act. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. I love Betty Davis! Exclamation mark. Groundhog Day. Army of Darkness. Evil Dead 2 is better. I see Evil Dead 1 as a single movie and BBN it's great. Ed 2 is just a remake and it's great too. Really, I just love the Ed movies and TV series. I meant to say 2 not 1. You did. I was saying the first doesn't tie into 2 and AD. Anyone can really just read D2 and AD. Yeah, I own all 3 but really only ever watch 2 and AOD. Casablanca. Citizen Kane. Apocalypse Now. Saving Private Ryan. Clue. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. This is Too Far Down. Big Trouble in Little China. Just introduced it to my 12-year-old. He loved it. Lord of the Rings. Remember the Titans. Aliens. Shawshank Redemption. The Matrix. Napoleon Dynamite. Interstellar. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. If only for the poetry. The Thing. Was going to post this in the 1982 one, not the 2011 ONR. Don't talk about the 2011 one. What a stupid fucking movie. The Warriors. Die Hard. Star Wars. Rambo. Greater than Die Hard. Welcome to the party, pal. Quote. Scarface. There are several. Iron Man was a fantastic movie and broke the comic book movie curse. Star Wars because it's Star Wars. That's all there is to it. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly was one of the last great Western movies and I cannot think of anyone who has seen it who doesn't like it. Alien for being the first truly good sci-fi horror movie. Iron Man started the MCU. Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 I think broke that curse before. Young Frankenstein. Casablanca. Back to the Future. Greatest of all time and you can't change my mind on that. Empire Strikes Back. It's an intensely exciting film from start to finish. You care about all of the characters. You're devastated by what happens to the Monsieur. It explores philosophy through Yoda, and it has a decent love story. The lightsaber fight is also eons ahead of the first movie, not to mention one of the greatest twists of all time. The movie has it all: the good, the bad, and the ugly. The Room, Jaws, the original one, for me, Mrs. Doubtfire, National Treasure, Big Trouble in Little China, Titanic, the king of the movie world. Absolutely LMAO. Came here to see if this was in the answers. I don't know a single person who hasn't seen Titanic, and I've lived on 3 continents. A Night to Remember 1958 feels a lot more authentic to me. #_ Rambo First Blood *_ The Green Mile, Home Alone, ! It would be a crime not to enjoy any of the Naked Gun trilogy. E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Wayne's World, Princess Bride, Zombieland, Tom and Jerry. A while ago I asked for movies pre-80s that people thought were fail-proof, as I tend to not enjoy older films quite reliably. There are exceptions. Don't jump down my throat. And someone gave me Being There as an example of a timeless movie. Watched it the other weekend, would totally vouch for that. Every bit as hilarious, sharp and relevant as it was when it came out, and I'd imagine it always will be. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Goonies, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Titanic, Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, Elf, Blues Brothers, The Shawshank Redemption, The Godfather, You've Got Mail and Sleepless in Seattle, Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan Forever, Inglourious Bastards, Beetlejuice, The Hunger, David Bowie, Catherine Deneuve and Susan Sarandon as vampires in NY. Blazing Saddles, Blade Runner is one of the greatest science fiction movies ever. The Naked Gun is one of the greatest comedy movies ever. Goodfellas, a less-known one, but I would say The Departed, one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's so good. Little Miss Sunshine, Blades of Glory, Clue, Akira, also Ghost in the Shell, Back to the Future and Don't Call Me a Chicken Biff. Edit. Let's not forget about the time he almost MQR'd his mum. Home Alone, Stand By Me. It's just a great movie to watch as a kid, and fantasies about you and your friends going on an adventure like the kids in the film. 2001. I can't believe this isn't a top contender. A Space Odyssey is unreal. Doctor Strangelove, Wizard of Oz, The Last Waltz. Bravo on that choice. Not only the best music movie ever made, but simply one of the best movies on any topic ever made. Fantastic band, fantastic director, fantastic entertainment experience. Down Periscope, Castaway, Iron Man, Grease or Hairspray, Happy Gilmore, The Great Escape, Damn Near Flawless, Hocus Pocus and Mean Girls, both awesome movies and both very quotable. Karina, It's a Wonderful Life, Spider-Man 2002, Avatar by James Cameron, Blade Runner by Ridley Scott, Gone with the Wind, The Goonies, one of my favorites, Man from Earth, Home Alone, The Graduate, RoboCop, Aliens, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Home Alone, Blazing Saddles, Office Space. Extremely funny and relatable on so many levels. As long as people hate the annoying shit that happens at work, this movie will be relevant. The Wizard of Oz, The Dark Knight, The Indiana Jones Trilogy, Elf, Back to the Future, pretty sure The Matrix, Amadeus. His music has endured for 250 years. And above anything, it's about a man's struggle with envy and himself. Back to the Future, Blazing Saddles, Alien, Forrest Gump. Back to the Future will always be a classic to me, especially the parts with Morty's Monsieur. Home Alone 1 and 2. Every Christmas. It never gets old. Crocodile Dundee, Clue, A Night at the Roxbury, Gone with the Wind, Office Space, The movie completed 20 years recently but very relatable even now. The printer in my office doesn't work half the time and I'm as much frustrated with my MNC job as Peter that sometimes I want to be brutally honest with my supervisors. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.